We are awakening together. This is our weekly gathering we hold online. For more information, visit our website, awakening-together.org. We'd love to see you there.
Hey everybody. So happy to be here. Welcome to everyone in the sanctuary, and welcome to everyone listening on the radio or listening later by recording. So the first thing to do is to invite everyone to greet one another from wherever you are, and as is our tradition, whatever the weather is like. Thank you. And a warm, quite overcast actually now in Liverpool in England, where I am. Very warm though. So this is where we get to hear our statement of purpose, which we are an assembly of equals joined in common purpose, awakening to one true self within an appearance of many faiths, many cultures, and many symbols. We seek to discern one truth and to rest in its embrace. And the core value that came to me to have today was number 2. We realize everyone is equal and no one has been given spiritual intuition that is an authority over the spiritual intuition of others. We live this value by listening to each other, respecting each other, and allowing each one to be where they are. And the first thing that we do, I have to express this massive gratitude to all of the people who sent me all of the order of service, all of the reminders, all of the things to read out, and the assistance that I'm being given today to do this job. And I really appreciate you all. You know who you are. So my first song choice is a Brandi Carlile song, who I went to see just this week, last Wednesday, in Manchester, which was, I'll talk more about that afterwards, but yeah, it's a beautiful song. So get Marisol to play it. Thank you. So I'm going to read a poem from Rebecca Folsom as our prayer to start our gathering. Your life is a masterpiece. Self-love, a catchy phrase. Overused advice is importance lost sometimes. Self-love, simple in its true application, profound in its effect. A daily dialogue of listening and gentleness that prepares the ground for wild and tasty things to grow. Unbending awareness to guard one's resources, a fierceness that rises from the belly to care for the fragile incubation of personal creation. Your life is a masterpiece. Your mindfulness, the vitality and precision that shapes it. Your self-love, the absolute requirement, nourishing its possibility. And I'm just gonna invite the lovely Dianne to be who's our reader today. Thank you, Dianne.
Thank you, Kate. Beautiful poem. Hello, everyone. Very nice to see you all. I'm very grateful to be here and so grateful to be part of this community. So thank you. I'm reading NTI Acts chapter 13. When you have set aside your fear and your desire for the world, I will call you to follow a path with me. I have said this will seem to be a unique path. I have said that the path will be given to you one step at a time. And I have shown you that the path comes to you through your own willingness to walk the path with me. So when your calling comes and seems to begin to lead you in a direction that is unknown to you, rejoice and celebrate. Know that you are being led in the unknown through your own desire and willingness by your one Holy Spirit. The ego is still within the mind as you begin walking with me, because the ancient desire to be your own will has not left you fully as yet. Expect challenges on the path with me. Expect the desire for a separate and unique will to seek for command. Expect the desire for a separate and unique will to seek for command and control. Expect self-attack and fear. Be prepared for confusing thoughts and times of doubt, and then remember what you truly want. For what you truly want must be your guiding light because you are free. Remember your freedom and hold up to your light. All shadows must step aside and let you pass. And now I'll be reading from Awake, Angelo Dilullo, page 420. Letting go. This isn't going to sound good, but I find this movement to be consistent among those who experience awakening, so I have to mention it. At some point, you will have to be willing to let go of your life as you know it. I know that seems radical, but when you really start to move into the unknown, there are well-hidden defense mechanisms that come into play. Whether we realize it or not, the only thing that actually prevents awakening is that when we start sniffing in the right direction, these defense mechanism gets activated. More times than not, before we even realize we are operating in defense mode, the thought stream had already grabbed us by the nose ring and led us down some avenue of distraction. Outwardly, this will usually just feel like an impulse to contemplate something else or a change of mind. However, if we refuse to be deterred by yet another thought, distraction, doubt, or fear, we will find that a shedding of the conceptual structures that seem to hold our life together is underway. Once we've been through this process enough times, we realize I have no choice but to go beyond myself if I want to realize living truth. All thought roads lead to the same hamster wheel of seeking and craving, promising everything and delivering nothing. The mental alarms that go off know how to get your attention. If you ignore the distracting thoughts, the musings, and the philosophical chatter, your mind will kick it up a notch to get your attention. It will say things like, your life will be over if you go any further. You'll die if you keep on like this. You'll go insane. Of course, these are just thoughts, but to disentangle yourself from them, sometimes you have to get to the point where you say, well, so be it. If I die, then that's how it goes. But I'm going to keep moving in this direction because somehow I instinctually trust it. I never heard of anyone dying because of awakening, but I have talked to many people who felt like they might die right before it happened. Thank you.
Thank you, Dianne. That was brilliant. Yeah, so that's I felt like that was a good sentence to end on for the reading, that, you know, it's okay to acknowledge that it might feel like a death if we truly let go, but that actually, you know, no one has actually been recorded as dying from awakening. Although maybe people have awakened as they've been dying, and I'm sure that has been the case at some point. Yeah, so thank you so much. This is such a at once terrifying and also extremely ecstatic experience to come here in front of everyone as if I have something important to say. This is what mind is saying, okay? But I also, you know, see that what sees that is very neutral, very relaxed, very without judgment on whatever is going to come out of this mouth today. So that's good. So I'll start at the beginning with the title of this Sunday homily is "What is my purpose?" Have I asked myself this recently? Have I taken on someone else's purpose, or am I being authentic with myself? And what I realized recently is that I hadn't asked myself that question in a while. And so I got together with Anne, and we did what she would call a clearing, but basically just, you know, asking questions about what is my purpose. And it helped me to really get quiet, to allow whatever wanted to come through, and to just give myself that time to kind of reflect on, okay, what is my purpose? Is it, you know, has it changed? Is it evolving? Is it different to what, you know, it was in the beginning? And, you know, all of those things are true. It's if there was any idea here that I knew and could be certain of my purpose at all times, I think that's just a thought. So it's worth just dropping all of that and going, okay, what is my purpose here? What is my purpose right now? And my purpose was really quite simple in a way, which was to listen for guidance and follow it as best as I can, to look out for anything which is triggering to me, and if I can turn towards it and be with it, and if I can't, that to be with the resistance to that, so to be with those uncomfortable feelings and stay with them. There was another question that came up, which was, you know, what really interests you? You know, what is your what's, gets you on fire? What makes you kind of go, yeah, that's what I want? And that was another surprise, the answer to that question, which was, how relaxed can I be? And to let go of conditioning and surrender to what is. And as I kind of contemplated those things over the last couple of weeks, I realized that I'm here to realize that I'm attached to, many, many different things. And what has changed is that it used to be, oh, I'm attached to many, many different things, so I need to let go of those things and get rid of those things, or challenge those things, or and a lot of I am bad came in about, why am I so attached, to my children, to my, to my, worth, all of those things. And then I realized that I'm here to realize that I'm attached to everything. There is nothing that I'm not a part of or joined with. And it just felt very different, that feeling of, because it wasn't about, me as Kate being joined with or a part of, but me as consciousness, as spirit, I don't know, whatever word you want to put in there, but not the personality. So it was a seeing that it's okay to be a part of everything and attached, to everything. I remember thinking that being attached to things, that there was something wrong with that, that, we should be detached, and, that was definitely the road to go. And what I'm seeing now is that it's actually, for me, about being attached and being with. And that kind of, when Angelo says, this is going to be difficult, or this is challenging, and when NTI says, this is a challenge, it is a challenge. It's not easy. It's not easy to be with uncomfortable feelings. It's not easy to be with heartbreak. But Brandy sang in that first song. Well, she said a few things in that first song. One was "Wear Your Heart on Your Sleeve," which I just take to be that, be with my heart on my sleeve. Let my heart be here, whether it's breaking or closed or open, but just to be with it and allow it to be there in its fullness, because I am unbreakable. It's not possible for what I am to be broken. And feeling that and allowing that to be my reality then allows me to follow my purpose, which is to listen for guidance and follow it as best I can. So the there's some, well, I have so many stories about following guidance as best as I can, but this week was a particularly tough week, in terms of a friend of mine passed away last week, well, early this week. And this week was all about many, many different things that were happening. One was I was going to London to stay with my daughter, to go to a dance show, which was all about carnival and celebration. And then the following day, I was going to get a train from London to Manchester and go and see Brandy, which was like this, you know, it had been long awaited, you know, and I was going to this concert on my own because I don't know anyone else who's into Brandy Carlisle in Liverpool. I'm sure there's loads of people, and I did meet a few people on the train back from the concert. But I went, and it was a very expensive ticket as well. So I went on my own. And then and I had another concert on Friday night. And also in the midst of this, my mother and her partner are visiting from Ireland. And during all of that, I'm grieving my friend. But there was at no point was I given any guidance to change any of my plans. My friend's funeral was on Wednesday, but it was in Ireland. And I checked, was I meant to go? Was I meant to change all of my plans and go there? And there was no guidance to do that. And yeah, so I spent most of the concert with Brandy crying, and really, really enjoyed it. Felt, like I did kind of feel like the people on either side of me may have kind of felt something. I don't know. Anytime I looked at them, they smiled at me. So, I'm sure they weren't too distressed. But it did feel like the whole concert, she opened with that song, with Stay Gentle. And it was like an invitation to me to just feel what I was feeling. And it was just, it went on from there throughout. She played every song that this mind would have asked her to play. She has a huge catalogue of songs, so the chances of that were quite few, really. But the message that I kept getting from her and and also from the other things that I went to that week and did this week was just this: everything, absolutely everything is a part of me. And from the train journeys, which were very varied, some were, quiet and relaxed, and some were raucous and messy, and some were smelly and hot, and some were freezing cold. There was every experience available there. But all of it was there for me to join with, to attach to be with. And it was just, it was just perfect. All of it was perfect. So one of the things that I've just written it down, unique path. Oh yeah, it's from NTI, isn't it? So one of the things that I've had with guidance as well is that it's for me to be able to hear guidance and follow it. It's been it's a learning thing. We're all learning it because we have this huge amount of conditioning. We have this huge amount of beliefs about, our unworthiness, our badness, our hatefulness, and we have a huge amount of projections that we put onto other people, the world, continuously. And all of those things, it's like static, so it's like being able to hear guidance is incredible, through that static. It's an amazing thing to be able to and it just goes to show me how powerful it is when it's coming in continuously. It never stops. It never gives up. It never goes away or has a day off. Guidance isn't kind of going, okay, I've had enough now. I've tried so many times with you. I'm just I've got to have a break now. It's never does that, ever. And the reason, I suppose, that I can say that with like all this confidence is that any time that I have looked for it, any time that I have opened for it, it's been there. So it's like, so the challenges, this continual challenge that we have is good. It's to be celebrated because it's got all the components that are needed to awaken us. So it's got all the things very particularly for us, not for anyone else, not for us to go out and try and fix anyone else or do anything good for anyone else. Anne asked me before, was my mom gonna be on, would she come on and listen to my homily? I was like, I have no guidance to invite her to do that, right? I used to not get guidance, but I used to get that feeling of like, I should share this, I shouldn't hide this. That was the other thing, mind would tell me, you're just hiding. You're hiding your, this is your hidden life over here. But there's just no guidance to bring anybody from my outside life or whatever into this, because it's nothing to do with them. If they asked about it or they wanted to come, yeah, but that has not been the case. Or obviously, if I got the guidance to do that, I would probably sweat my way through that one and and invite them and then cringe the whole time while I was giving a homily. There is a part of me that laughs because I think, maybe I'll die and they'll find these YouTubes of me and go, what? What was going on there? She had this whole secret life going on. So yeah, I can't remember why I started talking about that, but the unique path, and the challenges. So all of these challenges are set up just for me. Yeah. And you put in you in that little thing as well. So everything in your life is set up for you. And like Rebecca Folsom says in that poem, your life is a masterpiece. It's masterfully constructed to give you that opportunity. And you are aware of that, because you're here on a Sunday morning listening to one of your, friends from this group that you come to all the time talking about it. Why else would you be here? And if you are here for another reason, well, maybe that needs to be looked at. And the questions of what is my purpose? Have I asked myself this recently? Have I taken on someone else's purpose? Or am I being authentic with myself? A couple of years ago, I met a friend on the street. I haven't seen her for a very long time. And I asked her how she was and what she was up to. And she told me about this course she was doing. And as I walked home from seeing her, just came in, go and look up this course. And I went in and looked it up. And anyways, I ended up enrolling on a master's in psychotherapy with creative practices, right? And do you know, the only thing that kept coming up for me during that whole time was Regina at one point saying about, and I think she was talking about distraction, right? And that she said at one point, I even nearly did a master's. And all I could hear was this, and this, this doubt of, what am I doing? I'm doing a master's. Am I distracting myself? Am I, like, is this just veering off into something? And what I've come to realize is that was perfectly set up for me, perfectly set up for me to look at that, to look at, am I following my guidance? And the other thing is, there's this fail safe going on, okay, which is you can follow guidance that you think is your guidance, okay, and if you've made a mistake, more guidance comes in. It doesn't just leave you there and go, oh well, you've gone now. See you later. It's no hope for you. You tried. Well done. But it's not gonna work now. More guidance comes in and lets you know if you're on the right track. So it's like this continuous kind of course correcting. Here we go. And that first year, well, no, maybe the first half a year of doing the masters, it was torturous. It was just absolutely torturous. And but what was incredible was that the minute that I got on to, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? And realized there was just all these thoughts coming in, all these beliefs that needed to, be seen and be with, about, unworthiness and not good enough, like I haven't been in education for 30 years. So like I had to learn how to write an essay. I had to, and then also I was the oldest in the class, and it was just like everything you could possibly think of. And but what was incredible was the minute that I really saw, oh, okay, this is just mind. This is just ego. And I've gotten caught up in it again. And it's not because I followed the wrong guidance, or I, made a mistake, or I was, doing something wrong, it's just because that's the way it works. That's the mechanism. The mechanism, we set it, we've set it up. It gets us to the point where, do I really want to suffer this much? Or do I want to let it go? And I let it go. And since then, it's not that there haven't been challenges, but oh my goodness, it's been an absolutely, it's been beautiful. It's been absolutely beautiful. And this year, which is really funny, is that my favorite Ramana Maharshi quote, which right now, is not in the mind. But that one about, you've heard me say it so many times, Shauna's nodding, the one about silence, about, everything that's meant to happen will happen. Everything that's not meant to happen will not happen. So the best course of action is silence. And my dissertation for next year is going to be, is silence enough? And so it's just given me this opportunity to, I'm going to do a silent retreat with Angelo in August. And that's going to be the beginning of my, research project. So it's like all kind of come together. But even if that hadn't happened, there's been so much that has been so helpful. But it's my unique path, and that's not, that doesn't mean that anybody here should go out and start a master's degree, or that they, that anyone should do anything that I do. Apart from, if there's one thing that you could do that I do, is to ask yourself, what is my purpose? And I'll just go to Angelo's, it's kind of near the end of where Dianne finished reading, on page 421. And if you feel like this is something you want to do right now, then just let yourself go to this, okay? You don't need to read it. I'm going to read it to you, and you can just let come whatever comes to you. What would it feel like to let go right now? What does that feel like? I mean, let go of everything. Does that bring up any emotion? Do you notice the thoughts that flood in saying, well, you can't just let go of everything. You have to hold on to something. What if you continue to let go despite the emotions and or thoughts? Where does this lead? And the simplicity of this practice is so amazing. We're not being asked to figure anything out, to, be in charge, or, do any tests at the end of it. It's all just an invitation to let go and to listen. Listen to what comes up. Listen to those thoughts. Don't turn away from them. Don't turn away from the emotion. Don't turn away from the sensation. Just be with them. And he goes on to say, what if you give over your will to living truth right now, even if it has nothing to do with what you think truth is? And mind will argue with you till the end of time that truth is nothing to do with your heartbreak. Truth is nothing to do with your prickly sensation on the side of your neck. Truth is nothing to do with that thought that you have about what am I going to have for dinner. And it's just mind is just doing what it's programmed to do. If I give my will to living truth right now, it doesn't say make sure you know what living truth is. You know, here are the parameters that living truth falls under. Living truth is what is here right now. And none of us are flying around with wings on our backs, you know, ethereally, you know, gliding around in this world. As far as I can see, the people I can see on the screen are all in bodies. And this body is for communication. And if we ignore it or challenge it, we're just in an endless fight with what is. And that causes suffering. So it's like, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's challenging. Let me just check the time. How are we doing here? Oh yeah, good. Okay, well, so yeah, so what is my purpose and what really interests me? You know, maybe, you know, we're so lucky here. We have so many classes, retreats, practices, you know, on weekly meetings with each other where we can try out these things and share with each other how how this is going for us, because it is important. It is important to join. That's why we're not all in one body. You know, we're all in separate bodies because we get to kind of look at each other and go, how you doing? How's it going over there? What's happening? You know, and yeah, I'm just so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the ability that I have to communicate and to listen. And I think that, you know, dyad practice has always been such a brilliant thing for me, because it's safe, you know, with that like time thing. You know, you have this much time, I have this much time, and you know, we switch back and forth, and it's like I want to be true to my purpose, and whatever gets me there is got to be practical. It's got to be simple, and it's got to be available. And all of those things are here. All of those, everything here is made so simple for us. It's like, turn up at this time, come into this room, try out this, see what you think of that. Listen, just listen, So yeah, and go quiet as well. Be silent. Is silence enough? I'll tell you next year when I've written my thesis. Anyways, I feel kind of complete there, and I'd ask Marisol to play our song for contemplation, and she'll put a link in, and this is when the dish would be passed around. And if you feel to donate, there's so many free resources here that are so incredible. Please do that. Gorgeous. Yeah, I just love that song, because it's like, it's so full of life and so kind of, it is about a sad subject, but it's just has that kind of contrast of like joy and joy for life at the same time as, that sadness that's happening, and, hold on. Yeah. So this is now the time. If anyone feels they'd like to share, please do. I don't know if I can, let's see if I can see everybody. You can put up your hand, or you can unmute and speak.
Hi, Kay. I thought that was a brilliant sharing. I love your honesty and your holding on to purpose, which is so important. I did have one question. It's something I missed. You said something about liking your attachments. What is it that you're attached to? I kind of missed that. Thank you.
Oh, well, I think what I was saying was about, I used to think that that attachments were a bad thing, right? But what I've been shown is that being attached to everything has got a different meaning for me now. It's like being one with everything. I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay, now I understand. Yeah, being one with everything, I totally get.
Yeah.
And you're right. Attachments does have a kind of a not such a great reputation in the spiritual community, especially like the Eastern teachers, be attached to nothing.
Yeah.
But nothing is also everything. So thank you.
Exactly. And I remember going to this mystic guy in Spain one time, and he was telling me that, your mission is to become detached from everything. And I remember feeling really, really challenged by that. And I worked with it for a long time, but yeah, I've come to see that actually, yeah, becoming attached to everything is more my path right now. I don't know whether that'll change.
You are refreshing teacher. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dove. Hey, Shauna.
Hey, my friend. Oh my gosh, I'm just vibrating with your gorgeous truth. Thank you so much. I took 2 pages of notes, but I just love being with you, love sharing this time with you, and your message just really deeply resonated, along with your examples from your life, which always is helpful to bring it home and live it for me, and to ask again, what is my purpose? Not once. It's not a one and done, right? That's exactly what you're pointing to. So thank you for that, because that's something I'm really looking at is, what am I doing here? What is this? What is all of it? Just to continually question and listen for guidance. You're pointing to the guidance that's never leaves us. It's never not here because it's what we are. It's our wisdom as divine expressions. So that's such good pointing. So even when I'm deeply enmeshed in what attachment, I can still feel for guidance. To me, there's a feeling I can detect that's different from the lower vibrational choices. And mind, thinking mind, oh my gosh, and feeling for the truth that's right here, always, completely, always running in as soon as we invite it. It runs in right away. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you, my friend. I love you.
No, thanks, Shauna. Love you too. Let's check. Yeah, we still got a few more minutes. Yeah, John.
I'm sitting here looking like, where the hell did the hand button go? All right, all good. Yeah, Kate, it was a lot of, it was very enjoyable to hear you talk about looking at your path and before you thought you had to conform to, well, I'm gonna say it for me. Before I thought I had to conform to some ideal, some curriculum that that everybody must have to go through. And there was some of that. There was some of that that occurred. But it feels like, I'll just use your term, the masters. The masters of this is realizing that I'm going to be met wherever I'm at, as long as I just choose to stay open. And maybe even if I don't choose to stay open, I'll get a little reminder later on. But we hear this all the time. You can't get this wrong. You can't get this wrong. And you go, yep, yeah, I can't get this wrong until I really screw it up, is what I actually hear. And isn't that funny? After a while, it's like, wow, I can't get this wrong. And then, for me, it's like a little testing of the boundaries. Well, I should be doing more of this. Well, I'm not going to do more of this for a while. Let's see what happens. And I mean, not to be contradictory, but it's just not calling me, so I'm paying attention to what calls and what doesn't call. And I think that's like, wow, that's the freedom right there. That is another lesson in freedom. And it's pretty cool. So yeah, I don't have much more to say than that. Thanks. Always enjoy listening to you. It's fun to see you, Kate. And
you, John.
yeah, I had the little orange cat here. I didn't know if you saw it, but
I did. I saw you
remember.
patting something. Yeah.
Yep. She came around to say hi. So, all right. Good seeing you. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Dianne.
Oh, thank you, Kate. That was so beautiful, so enlightful. Like it was light. It was fun. It was your truth. It was like, like seeing attachment a different way. It was for me, oh my gosh, like because letting go of all these attachments, it's a lot of doing. And the doer is very busy doing. And it's never enough. It's never good enough. So what I see with you is I find is you are in you're allowing everything. You're turning towards it. And I think those 40 days were very helpful for me to turn towards it too. I think that really, really is where I am going towards whatever is happening. And sometimes it's not pretty. But your songs, like, be gentle, like, be gentle with yourself. And music brings us back to this gentleness too, and just to allow to yourself to feel it feel what's coming up, whatever's coming up. And it's such a different place to be instead of, and by tomorrow, I might say, what were you talking about? So I find it's a moment to moment. What is my purpose now? What is my purpose now? And that returns, you come back to the heart when you ask that. Because, we have those little periods of truth that comes up, and we know that's what we want. So anyways, I want to thank you. That was amazing. And thank you for asking me to read that, especially the Awake with Angelo Dilullo, because I continued reading, and I said, oh my gosh, there's so many questions, and it's to live with the question instead of all these answers the mind has. So thank you very much, Kate. I love you.
Yeah, thank you, Dianne. And yeah, so many times during those 40 days when you came along to them, it's so nice. It's so beautiful. Yeah, really, really enjoyed that practice. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to you all, and yeah, just it's such a short amount of time to do these gatherings, but it's all of the kind of contemplation beforehand, and it feels like the kind of end of a retreat. When you've finished one of these, that you've kind of been on a journey, and and then, like you said, Dianne, this week might hold some other stuff. The post retreat thing. Also, I'm going to ask Marisol to play the last song, but also I just during my 40 days practice, I invited everyone to move. And so during this song, if you feel to get up and move, please do. Okay.
You've been watching our online gathering. It happens weekly on Sundays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. To join us live in the sanctuary, visit our website, awakening-together.org. You'll want to click on Online Sanctuary in the main menu, and then in the drop-down menu, look for How to Enter the Sanctuary. Right there at the top of the page is a clickable link. We'd love to see you in the sanctuary and join with you in fellowship. Thank you again for watching. Also, please know that if you'd like to stay connected via the Awakening Together channel here on YouTube, you can subscribe and hit the bell for more notifications. We hope to see you in the sanctuary.